What if I told you that having cholesterol that's too low could be harming your memory and increasing your risk of depression? That there is a type of cholesterol 300 times more dangerous than standard LDL, yet it's rarely mentioned in doctors' offices? And that the real villain behind heart disease might be hidden in something as simple as the sugar in your breakfast coffee? For decades, you avoided eggs, swapped butter for margarine, and took medications to lower cholesterol. Even so, many people still feel tired, and their lab results never seem to improve significantly. This happens because we were guided to fight something that is actually essential for our survival. Cholesterol often shows up where there is inflammation in the body, not as the cause, but as part of the repair response. It's like blaming the firefighters for the fire when they show up to put out the flames. Behind this confusion is an industry that moves billions of dollars every year. The pharmaceutical industry profits enormously from cholesterol medications, generating more than $20 billion per year in the United States alone. When there is that much money involved, information can be steered to keep this lucrative market running, even when independent research questions the real effectiveness of these treatments. Cholesterol is an essential molecule for life. Without it, our cells couldn't maintain their structure, our hormones wouldn't be properly produced, and our brain, which contains 25% of all the cholesterol in the body, wouldn't function correctly. Recent studies show that people with cholesterol that is too low may have a higher risk of depression, memory problems, and even higher overall mortality. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed more than 3,000 people over 65 for 6 years and found that those with total cholesterol below 160 mg/dl had a higher risk of cognitive decline. Our body produces about 80% of the cholesterol we have. When you consume less cholesterol in your diet, your liver simply produces more. This mechanism exists because cholesterol is fundamental to our survival. Here is the truth. There is a specific type of cholesterol that truly deserves our attention, and it isn't necessarily the LDL we fear so much. There is also a silent process occurring in your arteries that is far more dangerous than any cholesterol number, a process that may be fueled by the very healthy foods you were told to eat. Perhaps most surprising, your ability to process sugar may be determining your heart risk far more than any fat you eat. Many health professionals are already adopting a different approach, focusing on reducing inflammation in the body through changes in diet and lifestyle. The results show not only improvement in energy levels, but also a natural optimization of cardiovascular health markers. In the next few minutes, we are going to explore the different types of cholesterol and find out why not all bad cholesterol is created equal, a distinction that can completely change your health strategy. Did you know there are people with total cholesterol of 300 mg/dl who have completely clear arteries, while others with normal levels of 180 mg/dl suffer heart attacks? And that the type of cholesterol that truly determines your cardiovascular risk has to do with particle size, not the numbers that show up on your lab tests? Get ready to discover why two completely different kinds of cholesterol were grouped under the same name, creating one of the greatest confusions in modern medicine. What we call bad cholesterol actually consists of two distinct varieties: large, fluffy particles that drift smoothly through the bloodstream, and small, dense particles that behave like tiny cannonballs, capable of penetrating and damaging arterial walls. The large particles are relatively harmless, too big to infiltrate the arterial walls. The small, dense particles, however, can easily penetrate the delicate lining of your arteries, where they oxidize and cause inflammation, leading to the formation of arterial plaques. Dr. Ronald Krauss conducted studies showing that people with a predominance of small, dense particles have a threefold higher risk of heart disease, regardless of total cholesterol levels. The problem? Standard cholesterol tests don't make this crucial distinction. What determines whether you produce large, harmless particles or small, dangerous ones? The answer may surprise you. It isn't the fats you eat, but rather carbohydrates and sugars. When you consume foods rich in sugar or refined carbohydrates, white bread, pasta, sweets, sodas, your body produces more of the dangerous small, dense particles. On the other hand, when you consume healthy fats, your body tends to produce more of the large, harmless particles. This explains why populations that consume diets rich in saturated fats, like the French, often have lower rates of heart disease than populations that follow low-fat diets. There is another factor that is even more important: your insulin sensitivity. When your cells become resistant to insulin, usually due to excessive sugar consumption over the years, your body begins to produce predominantly the small, dangerous particles. Signs of insulin resistance include weight gain around the waist, fatigue after meals, cravings for sweets, difficulty losing weight, and slightly elevated blood pressure. Many people over 60 show some of these signs without realizing the connection. The good news is that insulin resistance is reversible. Through changes in diet and lifestyle, you can go back to producing predominantly the large, safe particles. There are more advanced tests available that can specifically measure the size and density of cholesterol particles. Unfortunately, many doctors still don't order these more specific tests, focusing only on the traditional numbers. If your tests show elevated bad cholesterol, the most important question isn't, how can I lower these numbers? But rather, what kind of particles is my body producing and why? Next, we're going to uncover the true culprit behind heart disease, a silent process that may be happening in your arteries right this very moment, and how to identify the warning signs that conventional medicine often overlooks. Dr. Paul Ridker, a cardiologist at Harvard Medical School, revolutionized our understanding of heart disease when he discovered that people with normal cholesterol levels but high inflammation had twice the risk of heart problems as those with high cholesterol but low inflammation. The most important marker of this inflammation is called C-reactive protein, CRP. Studies show that people with elevated CRP have an increased risk of heart attack, even with normal cholesterol. It's like discovering that the real danger isn't the speed of the cars, but the quality of the roads. But what causes this destructive inflammation? Mainly three factors that are epidemic in our modern society: excess sugar, processed vegetable oils, and chronic stress. Every time you consume sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood glucose level spikes rapidly. This creates small inflammatory explosions in your arteries. It's like throwing fuel on a bonfire. The more sugar, the bigger the fire. Processed vegetable oils, such as soybean, corn, and canola oil, are especially problematic. These oils undergo aggressive industrial processes that make them highly inflammatory. Ironically, many of these oils are marketed as heart-healthy. Chronic stress constantly releases cortisol, which promotes inflammation throughout the body. It's like having the fire alarm blaring 24 hours a day. Eventually, the response system becomes overloaded. The signs of chronic inflammation can show up in surprising ways, and now you can identify some of them, such as morning joint pain, persistent fatigue, digestive problems, difficulty losing weight, mood changes, and even sleep issues. Many doctors treat these symptoms separately, without realizing they may all be connected to a systemic inflammatory process. The good news is that inflammation can be controlled and even reversed. Powerful anti-inflammatory foods include omega-3 rich fish, dark leafy green vegetables, berries, extra virgin olive oil, and spices like turmeric and ginger. Some supplements can help control inflammation. High-quality omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium, and curcumin have strong scientific support for reducing inflammatory markers. Most importantly, you can ask your doctor for a CRP test to measure your inflammation levels. Values below 1.0 mg/L are ideal, between 1.0–3.0 indicate moderate risk, and above 3.0 suggest high risk. But wait until you discover which food that has been considered a villain for decades may actually be one of the greatest protectors of your heart, and which trendy superfood may be secretly destroying your arteries with every bite. Are you ready to discover that the egg, demonized for decades, may be one of the most protective foods for your heart? And that the whole grain granola in your breakfast may be causing more arterial inflammation than a hamburger? Get ready for a complete reversal of everything you believed about healthy eating. Chronic stress constantly releases cortisol, which promotes inflammation throughout the body. It's like having the fire alarm blaring 24 hours a day. Eventually, the response system becomes overloaded. The signs of chronic inflammation can show up in surprising ways, and now you can identify some of them, such as morning joint pain, persistent fatigue, digestive problems, difficulty losing weight, mood changes, and even sleep issues. Many doctors treat these symptoms separately without realizing they may all be connected to a systemic inflammatory process. The good news is that inflammation can be controlled and even reversed. Powerful anti-inflammatory foods include omega-3 rich fish, dark leafy green vegetables, berries, extra virgin olive oil, and spices like turmeric and ginger. Some supplements can help control inflammation. High-quality omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium, and curcumin have strong scientific support for reducing inflammatory markers. Most importantly, you can ask your doctor for a CRP test to measure your inflammation levels. Values below 1.0 mg/L are ideal, between 1.0–3.0 indicate moderate risk, and above 3.0 suggest high risk. But wait until you discover which food that has been considered a villain for decades may actually be one of the greatest protectors of your heart, and which trendy superfood may be secretly destroying your arteries with every bite. Chapter 4. The Food Revolution. How to turn your kitchen into a natural pharmacy. Are you ready to discover that the egg, demonized for decades, may be one of the most protective foods for your heart? And that the whole grain granola in your breakfast may be causing more arterial inflammation than a hamburger? Get ready for a complete reversal of everything you believed about healthy eating. Penso por 5 segundos. Eggs are a perfect example of how we were misled. For years, we avoided eggs because of cholesterol, but recent studies involving more than 5,000 people showed that eating eggs daily does not increase heart risk. In fact, eggs are rich in choline, a nutrient that helps process fats properly and reduces inflammation. On the other hand, many healthy foods are true inflammatory bombs in disguise. Whole grain cereals, sugary granolas, natural juices, and even some protein bars can rapidly raise your blood glucose, triggering inflammatory processes. The secret lies in understanding the glycemic index of foods. When you consume something that quickly spikes blood sugar, your body releases excess insulin, promoting inflammation and the production of the small, dense cholesterol particles that truly cause problems. Truly protective foods include avocado, rich in fats that reduce inflammation, wild salmon, a source of anti-inflammatory omega-3, dark green vegetables like spinach and kale, packed with antioxidants, and walnuts, which have been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in just 4 weeks of regular consumption. Turmeric deserves special emphasis. This golden spice contains curcumin, a compound that some studies suggest may be more effective than pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories, without the side effects. But there is one superfood that may be sabotaging your efforts: healthy vegetable oils. Canola, soybean, and sunflower oil, even when promoted as beneficial, go through extreme industrial processing and contain high levels of omega-6, which promotes inflammation when consumed in excess. The most effective dietary strategy is simple. Eat foods your great-grandparents would recognize: grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, organic vegetables, low-sugar fruits like berries, cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, and natural fats like butter from pasture-raised animals. Avoid anything that comes in packages with endless ingredient lists, especially if it contains added sugars, corn syrup, processed vegetable oils, or chemical preservatives. A powerful change is replacing 3 meals per week rich in refined carbohydrates with options rich in healthy fats and quality proteins like organic chicken and pasture-raised eggs. Many people report significant improvement in energy and well-being in just 2 weeks. Remember, your body needs cholesterol to function, but it does not need chronic inflammation. Eat in a way that nourishes the first and fights the second. Now, the time has come to discover the complete strategy that can transform your cardiovascular health in 45 days, including the critical mistake 90% of people make when trying to improve their cholesterol test results. You know that feeling of fatigue that hits right after lunch, when all you want is a nap on the couch? Or the difficulty climbing the stairs you used to go up without a second thought? What if I told you that in just 45 days you can feel like you did 10 years ago, with more energy, a clearer mind, and a stronger heart? The mistake 90% of people make is focusing only on lowering numbers instead of improving real health. It's like trying to fix a garden by painting the grass green instead of tending to the roots. Your new strategy starts at the breakfast table. Instead of toast with jam or cereal, try scrambled eggs with avocado and a slice of cheese. Your energy level will stay steady until lunch, without that dip that usually happens at 10 a.m. During your morning walk in the park, which you probably already do or should be doing, take the opportunity to breathe deeply. Those 20 minutes of gentle activity reduce cortisol, lowering inflammation in your arteries. You don't need to run. The pace of a pleasant conversation is perfect. At lunch, turn your salad into a powerful meal. Add salmon, walnuts, extra virgin olive oil, and a pinch of turmeric. This kind of meal nourishes your brain and protects your heart simultaneously. In the afternoon, when that urge for something sweet hits while you watch your favorite show, always keep berries or a few nuts nearby. They satisfy the craving without causing the sugar spikes that inflame your arteries. Dinner time is crucial. Eat at least 3 hours before going to bed and keep the meal light. Perhaps grilled fish with vegetables sautéed in olive oil. This allows your body to recover during the night instead of working to digest heavy foods. During your reading moments or while you work on crossword puzzles, consider taking a quality omega-3 supplement. It's a small investment with immense returns for your cardiovascular health. Sleep deserves special attention. A dark bedroom, a mild temperature, and avoiding screens at least 1 hour before bed. Quality sleep is when your body repairs arterial inflammation. On Sundays, when you have the family over, prepare meals everyone enjoys, but that still follow these principles. Roasted meats, colorful salads, vegetables sautéed in olive oil. You'll be taking care of everyone without making it feel any different. In 15 days, you will notice more energy. In 30 days, better sleep quality. In 45 days, when you redo your tests, the inflammation markers will be significantly better. Remember, you spent decades believing incomplete information about cholesterol. Now you have the knowledge to make choices that truly protect your heart. Your family and your grandchildren deserve to have you healthy and vibrant for many more years. If this information was valuable to you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Every week, we share scientific findings that can transform your health, always with clear language and practical guidance for people over 60. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any update that can make a difference in your quality of life.